Calgary is building a new home for the Flames, but this isn't just another arena project. We're talking about a $1.2 billion investment that represents one of the largest public infrastructure commitments in the city's history. At this moment, excavation teams are carving through 40 feet of unstable soil in Calgary's floodplain, constructing what city leaders promise will transform downtown forever. The replacement for the aging Saddle Dome carries massive expectations for economic revitalization and urban renewal. But here's what they're not telling you up front. Taxpayers are footing 97% of the bill while a private corporation keeps the profits. This is Scotia Place. And when you see how the money breaks down, you'll understand why some are calling it the worst public deal in Calgary's sports history. Let's break down where every dollar comes from. Calgary taxpayers are covering $853 million. The provincial government adds $330 million for infrastructure. Combined, that's $1.18 billion in public money. The Calgary Sports and Entertainment Corporation contributes $40 million up front. That means the private company that will own and operate this facility for 35 years is paying just 3.3% of the construction costs. But the financial arrangements get even more favorable for CSEC. They can charge a 9.5% tax on every ticket sold, collecting roughly $10 million each year from fans attending events. Their lease payments start low and increase by 1% annually. Taxpayers, meanwhile, cover all construction risks, any flood damage, and maintenance costs that exceed ticket revenue. For individual Calgary households, fiscal watchdog groups estimate this commitment could mean a property tax increase of roughly 2.4% or $88 annually for median income homeowners. That additional cost continues for 3 decades. Here's where the story takes a concerning turn. This billion-dollar arena is being built in an active floodplain, the same arena that was underwater during Calgary's devastating 2013 floods when the Bow River overflowed and caused billions in damage across the city. Engineers are attempting something technically ambitious, a sunken seating bowl design that puts the main arena floor below street level, in a flood zone. The architectural challenge is unprecedented, requiring extensive remediation of contaminated lots and complex water management systems to handle groundwater fluctuations. Crews must install specialized drainage and waterproofing systems while excavating through contaminated soil. These flood mitigation measures add millions to construction costs. Meanwhile, climate scientists warn that extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and severe, and who bears the risks if Mother Nature strikes again? Not CSEC. The contract explicitly states taxpayers cover all flood damages. If another major flood hits, Calgary residents pay for repairs and cleanup while CSEC continues collecting revenue from the publicly funded facility. The approval process reveals strategic political timing. City Council passed this deal unanimously in just over 60 seconds, despite vocal public opposition. The provincial government announced their $330 million contribution just days before calling an election, which was a sharp contrast to Edmonton, which received no similar provincial support for their arena. Negotiations excluded meaningful public consultation and were conducted behind closed doors. Former City Councilor Jeremy Farkas captured the frustration. Public money will be responsible for paying 96% of Scotia Place costs, which CSEC will operate in term profits from for decades to come. Meanwhile, land swap agreements quietly transferred $89.9 million in prime real estate to the Calgary Stampede, enabling future hotel developments that future benefit private interests. Proponents promise downtown revitalization through 500 new parking spaces, retail zones, and potentially 1,000 hotel rooms. These projections sound impressive until you examine similar projects elsewhere. From 1970 to 2020, taxpayers covered 73% of venue construction across North America major sports leagues, and that represents billions in public funding for private sports facilities. Also, despite decades of promises about economic benefits, sports stadiums have failed to create jobs or boost local income the way politicians claim they would. So why do these projects consistently fail to deliver? The fundamental economic structure is flawed. Public investment for private profit. In Calgary's case, CSEC controls 100% of project management while keeping exclusive rights to naming deals, concessions, and revenue streams, the very sources that generate the highest returns and could theoretically benefit taxpayers. What's worse is that this burden will extend far beyond today's taxpayers. The 35-year lease creates financial obligations lasting until 2062. Annual payments to CSEC escalate from the current $17 million to a projected $24.5 million by the contract's end. Think about what Calgary could have built with that $537 million instead. Affordable housing for thousands of families, new LRT lines, flood protection systems, libraries, community centers, fire stations, real infrastructure that serves everyone, not just hockey fans. In the end, taxpayers are asked to absorb all the financial risk while CSEC gets all the reward. Sports economists have studied this phenomenon extensively. The average NFL franchise is worth $1.79 billion, which is up 37% from 2023, meaning team owners capture substantial long-term financial gains while communities bear construction costs and operational risks. Calgary's deal follows a similar pattern. Public money builds the facility, private corporations extract the value. The ticket tax that CSEC collects means fans pay twice, once through their property taxes for construction, again through surcharges for attendance. CSEC's $17 million annual lease payment sounds substantial until you realize that they collect $10 million annually from just the ticket tax, plus 100% from concessions, parking, naming rights, and event revenues. Construction began in July 2024 with completion targeted for fall of 2027. The aggressive timeline means road closures, traffic disruptions, and infrastructure strain during the 3-year build period. The project replaces the historic Saddle Dome, erasing Olympic legacy infrastructure from 1983. While architectural plans promise innovative design elements, specific sustainability claims lack documentation in official agreements. Victoria's Park residential communities face potential gentrification pressures as entertainment district development transforms the neighborhood. Long-term residents may find themselves priced out of their areas that their tax dollars help develop. Perhaps most concerning is the lack of oversight mechanisms. CSEC faces no liability for cost overruns, maintains exclusive project management control, and secured contract terms that prioritize private profit over public returns. The agreement includes no meaningful performance benchmarks, no community benefit requirements, and no recourse if projected economic impacts fail to materialize. Taxpayers invested $1.18 billion with virtually no protection against downside risks. Provincial infrastructure funding remains contingent on political continuity, a gamble given changing government priorities and fiscal pressures. Scotia Place represents more than an arena project. It establishes dangerous precedents for public subsidization of private entertainment ventures. Calgary joins cities that discovered too late the hidden costs of sports facility deals. Community engagement processes were minimal. The project proceeds based on the economic projections rather than genuine public consensus. As construction continues through 2027, Calgary residents will learn whether this $1.2 billion investment yields community dividends or becomes a cautionary tale in municipal finance. When Scotia Place opens in 2027, Calgary will have one of the most expensive hockey arenas ever built. It will host great games, memorable concerts, and community events, but the problem is what comes next. For 35 years, every dollar from the naming rights, concessions, parking, premium seating flows to CSEC. Every risk, floods, cost overruns, economic downturns falls on the taxpayers. What's most alarming is that other cities are watching Calgary's deal, seeing how far they can push public financing while keeping private profits. Ironically, it seems that Scotia Place's success could set a very dangerous precedent for the NHL and other major sports infrastructure projects worldwide.